I'd like to tell you about a show of epic proportions. I prefer me some magic when I'm trying to get in and out of houses undetected. I prefer me some magic. A show where the boundaries are pushed.
I like spam. Is there something wrong with that?
No, nothing at all. If you prefer meat with jelly on top of it, go right ahead.
I'd like to tell you about that show, but that is not this show. This show is the Fortean Slip, with host Chris York.
I have a tendency to go to dark places with my humor. It is what it is. It's not going to change anytime soon.
Co-host Steve Alcorn.
It was so earth-shaking and mind-blowing that even John Teeter in the future knows about it.
And reoccurring, ever-present special guest, Matt Knapp.
Yeah, somebody should have put out like a giant bug zapper and just ended that whole Mothman debacle.
A show that lacks taste, a filter, and listeners.
Are you listening? Are you like hearing the fucking fart?
Yeah!
You're not just smelling it, you're hearing
Not just smelling. Audible as well.
That would be something else.
Whoa!
But
You
well,
have
I do.
farts that you can't tell if it was you or not?
Well, yeah, because
What you are about to hear may be offensive, but we don't really give a fuck.
Good evening, and welcome to the Fortean Slip. After an intro like that, I feel like it should be an important show. Or not. This would be episode... Yeah, this is one of those weeks where I'm confused. 37, I think? Yeah, episode 37. This is the Blair Yeti Project. This week we look at the, well, for us it's upcoming. I don't think it's aired yet. The Russian Yeti. The killer lives. It lives, Matt.
It lives and it breathes.
It lives and it breathes. Steve will not be joining us tonight.
Tonight I will be playing the part of Steve Alcorn.
He had an emergency circumcision to attend to.
Appendectomy.
He's actually a mohel in his spare time, and he practices the lost art, Matt, that's been banned in a lot of states, where they suck the foreskin off the child.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is what it is. You know, Steve's a purist. You got to give him that.
That's why he's been going through his 2-week spam fast. Preparing for that.
Speaking of which, fucking Dreadfund posted a picture of fucking Miracle Whip today, and of course, fucking tags Alcorn in it, and Alcorn's like jumps right on that son of a bitch. I told him I hope they all get food poisoning from Miracle Whip.
Can you? I mean, does it classify as food?
I think it's got so many preservatives in it. I don't think it can go bad at this point. Like I had heard once somebody say that, you know, they say that mayonnaise can go bad, but mayonnaise has got a lot of preservatives in it. It's like, I don't fucking know anymore. But anyway, yeah, Russian Yeti, the fucking killer lives.
Not to be confused with the Himalayan Yeti.
Not that one, not the bear.
Not that one. No.
The one that
Different Yeti.
Was that Bindernagel that fucking called it the...
No.
It wasn't him? Who was it?
No. That was that other guy.
It's an English guy.
Yeah.
I always get him fucking confused, Matt.
Professor Tea and Crumpets.
Tea and crumpets? Huh.
Tea and...
Tea, Earl Grey, hot. Yeah, but I, you know, personally, we haven't seen the fucking thing. I can tell you what it's going to be, and this is going to be amazing for everybody because I'm going to be psychic right now.
Well, by the time they hear the show, it's already going to have broadcast.
It will have broadcast, but we're recording the show before broadcast, and neither one of us have seen the show. I've seen.
We can lie.
No, I'm just.
I mean, we're completely beyond that. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna be psychic for a minute. What you're gonna see is horrible reenactments. They're gonna keep showing that fucking picture of the shadowy figure in the tree line. They're gonna say, what was the diary entry where the snowman is real? They're gonna pimp the shit out of that. And they're gonna go around and get fucking eyewitness, accounts of the Yeti, quote unquote. And they might throw in some, shit footage that we've seen over the course of the past couple of years.
Do you think it might also include some like jerky camera action?
Listen, they are not above. Like this is you could literally probably put the reenactments up to the Blair Witch Project, and they probably like copied the camera angles. There's probably a scene where the camera falls to the floor and the kid's like standing in the corner.
And there's going to be like some serious narrating going on.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, is this story interesting? Absolutely. I don't know what the gist of the details beyond what I've read based around the show coming out tonight, to be honest with everybody. It is an interesting little story. All of these people that died seem to be seasoned hikers. I guess one early on turned back because he was sick.
Yeah.
And the other ones forged ahead. And they were trying.
Idiots.
Yeah, they were trying to reach this mountain. I can't remember the name of the fucking mountain now, and I don't want to pop up the website while I'm trying to do a fucking show. But and they wound up going the wrong way. And the leader of the group, I guess from what I read, they're pretty sure he didn't want to lose any ground, like as far as altitude. Right. So he wanted to continue on. And then the events unfolded, which I mean, I don't quite understand what happened. I know that supposedly that the tent was ripped from the inside out.
Right.
And
the entire thing is based on the fact that nobody knows what happened.
Right.
Like,
and supposedly they all like ran off in their skivvies, and then like the last people found who were the furthest out seemed to have a mishmash of clothes on them, if that's what I'm getting right.
Yeah, and like it's all just really weird.
Yeah. So I'm not above saying that it's something odd and that something weird definitely happened. But to try to just, throw it right down the alley of this was done by a, unknown creature in the woods, let's take a fucking step back for a second. Now, the photograph that they have, now this came out later, right?
Right.
Okay.
This was, I guess, whenever the narrator or the guy putting together this documentary was investigating the events, this package was sent to him with all these photographs, and mixed in amongst those photographs was this photograph. The creepy, shadowy figure at the tree line.
But these photographs supposedly came from the camera.
Right.
That was at the site where the bodies were found.
Right.
Okay. And for all we know, who the fuck knows, but it's basically just a blurry, shadowy figure in the tree line. To me, anyway. I look at it, that's what I see.
It could have been one of the hikers.
Yep.
It could have been, I've read where there's like a local tribe of people that may have been responsible, and it may be one of them. Basically, they're taking 4 things and coming up with a story off of those 4 things. The photograph, the journal entry that says, now we know the snowman is real, the fact that they cut themselves out of the tent from the inside, and the injuries that they discovered
on the bodies
that they had sustained. Right.
Right. And those were like marginalized at first, right?
Yeah.
Like they it was said like the injuries weren't all that, you know, that they were really superficial. There was nothing really anything major done to the bodies, and then come to find out there was like some major damage done to the bodies.
Well, you know, maybe it's not major damage if you're a Russian mountaineer.
Right.
But to me, like, yeah, one guy had a fractured skull. There was broken ribs. I mean, all painful stuff. When they were basically trying to say that this could have been done by a forceful impact of some kind.
Right.
Like a pissed off Yeti beating the shit out of you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the road that they're going to take it down.
Yeah.
And they're going to play into that, and that's the way that show's going to go. They're going to play that up like a motherfucker. That's the road, that's the only path.
Like a player piano.
I mean, and I get that. You know, I get it. But, you know, there's obviously other things that could have happened as well. But I'm not beyond saying that it could have been something like this.
My whole thing, the most perplexing part is you're inside of a tent. Why are you going to rip your way out of the tent and take off running in like your underwear and your socks?
Right. Why are you ripping out from the tent and not just going out through the door?
Right. So is there something inside of the tent that you're trying to escape? Or is something trying to come in the front of the tent? But I would think if something was trying to come in through the front, like if you rip your way out the back, now you're just outside with it.
Right. It's like I said, it's a very weird story all the way around. You know, I'm not saying that, you know, an unseasoned hiker would be any better off in the situation or anything, but, you know, in a situation like that, what's it matter?
Right.
You know, for that aspect. But as far as like, when you've got people who are used to doing those types of hikes, and I guess this was like they called it like as far as like the difficulty, it was like a category 3, I guess, or it was a level 3. It was pretty hard, the hike that they were attempting, and you know they were all obviously ready for that and had done, you know, a fair amount of hiking to begin with.
Yeah, you don't just like call up your buddies and like, hey, do you want to go hike this mountain pass this weekend?
Right.
Like it's a planned event, you know.
Right.
You map everything out, and
unless you're doing day hikes.
Right.
You know, or you're fucking stupid like me and you go, "Oh, let's fucking try this one today." And it's fucking way longer than it looks.
It's only 74 kilometers.
Yeah, I mean, fuck. It's not that long. No, I did a fucking 12-mile hike one day. And, oh, God. Fucking boat blew my knee out.
I thought hikers all went ahead and used the kilometers thing.
No, I don't use kilometers. I'm from the United States. I want to be backwards and stupid.
I thought you were from Maine.
Yeah, we're kind of in Canada.
You're like above the United States.
Like just the tip. We just got the tip in Canada.
Just put the tip in.
Yeah, that's
Chris.
all it is up here. We were like, you know, can we just put the tip in just a little bit? And Canada was like, yeah, sure. Can we come down? Can we send our Canadians down to your beaches? And we were like, oh fuck. But yeah.
So you don't think this was a Yeti?
I'm not beyond thinking that it was a Yeti. I'm not beyond it at all. I'm just saying that to rush right to it, to try to steer down that road. I mean, I understand presenting it in that fashion, but if you're going to present it in that fashion, the way that they're doing it, present the other angles as well. I guess there was a guy that wrote a book about it that presented a pretty plausible explanation. I did not read up on what the explanation was, but you know, like I said, I'm not beyond anything because it's all unexplained, and it's probably never going to be explained. It will probably always remain a mystery.
Well, see, there's, to me, the obvious answer would be an avalanche. Because, like, if an avalanche hits the tent, they may have had to cut their way out of it. Right. And then once they get out, you know, if they're, like, you know, soaked in their clothing or something, one of the symptoms of hypothermia, you start taking your clothes off.
Right, so you get hot.
Right, so perhaps that explains the way they were dressed. And then, you know, it would also explain the fractured ribs, the broken ribs, the fractured skull.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's that, I believe it was a female whose tongue was missing. I would just attribute that to scavengers. And, like, somebody else's, like, eye was missing or something, supposedly.
Right.
Like, you know, that's all soft tissue stuff that scavengers go after first.
Right, like, yeah, your crows and your shit like that.
Right.
But, yeah, but I'm not beyond any of it, really. I mean, you know, could that have happened? Yeah. Could a fucking creature have done something? Sure. You know? I mean, I'm not beyond any of it because I don't think we'll ever really know. You know?
Unless they have a better picture.
Right. Is the picture interesting? Yes. The picture
but
is...
But that's, again, like, you
that's
know...
where it ends. That's right.
They're making a show, putting a spin on it. Is that photo even legit?
Right. Does that photo come from the actual camera? Like, and like I said, we haven't watched the show, so I don't know if there's some, you know, compelling evidence that proves that that photo did come from the camera. Do I know? No. But even if it does, what does the photo show? It shows a blurry biped stepping out from what seems to be the tree line, what looks like holding onto a tree or grabbing a tree or pushing off of a tree, or
the typical Bigfoot position at the tree line.
Right. It is what I would consider a typical positioning. You know, I don't know. To be honest with you, when it comes to this one, you got me. Because there's not enough information, not enough evidence to look at.
And there's also, you know, other things. People have thrown UFOs in there.
Oh yeah.
Supposedly, some of the hikers' clothing, like,
was
radioactive. High radioactive. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, could something like that have happened? I'm obviously not beyond that either, I guess, because I wasn't there, don't know, not enough information. You know, all things I guess are possible, but in the easiest of explanations, the one that, you know, the avalanche theory is probably the most probable.
I would think so.
But, you know, hey, what a hell of a fucking yarn they put together, huh?
Absolutely. Thanks for great television.
Fucking A.
I mean, this thing has been talked about all over the internet.
But you and I both know what it's going to be. It's just going to be fucking over-sensationalized fucking bullshit.
Right. It's going to have a lot of promise and deliver nothing.
Yeah, reenactments and them going out. And they'll have the Finding Bigfoot moments where they're all out in the woods. They're fucking running around.
Did you hear that?
They're like, yeah, what was that? Ah! They fucking...
Is the Yeti real?
They fucking...
Was the Yeti responsible for those tragic events that took place? Yeah, that sort of crap.
fucking the serial killer from Silence of the Lambs.
That's the sound the Yeti makes right before your death. That would be really hard to die that way.
Oh, God.
From like a Yeti, and that's its war cry.
That sounds like...
How could you be afraid of something that makes that noise?
What was his name in that movie? Buffalo Bill. That sounds like
Yes.
Buffalo Bill. It sits there, holds you for like a couple of days. Would you fuck me?
I'm gonna kill you now.
It's cold up here in the mountains.
I need a great big fat person to keep me warm.
I suppose. Yeah. What is it? Who knows? Fucking, I don't care. Because it's never gonna fucking amount to anything but a blurry fucking picture, and it's unfortunate that's everything that comes out on this subject is just blurry picture after
Another blurry fucking picture.
fucking and here's the thing. Okay, when I started doing this show, Christ, it was almost a year ago now that we started doing this shit.
Has it been?
It's almost. We started the show
God.
in like August or September. I can't remember which it was. I think it was August, late August. Yeah, it was August that we started the show. But when initially I was going to start the show, there's the Lost episode, which, nobody's ever going to hear because I can't find the fucking audio for it. I thought I'd saved the file, and I don't think I have it anywhere. If I can fucking find it, I'll do something with it. But it's shit like this that makes me not want to pay attention to the Bigfoot research. Because it's like...
What was that?
It's shit like this that makes me not...
It's a
What's that?
joke, Chris.
Oh.
Come on.
You fucking asshole, you got me. Anyway, yeah. So, when I started this show, I was like, 90% of the shit we see is horse shit. And why not just fucking make fun of it? And I was...
Might as well.
And I was fucking pissed off at the whole, the idea of Bigfoot research because of what comes out of it and what I'd seen and all the hoaxes I'd fucking watched unfold. And, you spend any time looking into it and having fucking people, go, hey, take a look at this picture that, so-and-so's fucking gonna put up, and you're just like, oh my dear fucking God. Like,
Well, just for instance, like, since we've been doing the show, what has come out that's been positive or an advancement for Bigfoot research of any kind?
not a whole hell of a lot that I can...
A couple of pieces of questionable thermal footage?
Maybe, yeah. And even that,
But is that really moving forward?
And even if thermal footage, even if the thermal footage is, even if the thermal footage is, genuine, that
Completely legit, cuz.
yeah, or whatever. What does it show? I mean, I've always said, Bart's thermal, which I like the thermal, quote unquote, but without Phil's breakdown of it, it isn't really, what is it? Without all the, all the stuff afterwards, and then Phil going back through and looking at it, it just, there's not, it's just a fucking thermal.
Right.
So, I want to be hopeful,
I think
man.
It's a nice piece to have.
Right, absolutely.
For the bigger picture, but nobody's really accomplishing anything towards the bigger picture.
Right, because if it was a huge thing, like if those pieces of thermal footage were big, you know, if they meant something, then you would be reading about it, that this is a species that we've identified, like in a fucking reputable science journal.
Right, but you can't pull that kind of information from thermal images.
Exactly. So I want to be hopeful. I really do. You know, like I've always said, I've been a fucking fan of this since I was a kid. Since I was a young kid, the first time I ever saw the fucking Patterson Gimlin footage, it blew me the fuck away. And whether or not, you know, what the deal is with that, I mean, nobody really knows. There's all kinds of bullshit surrounding that as well. But I'll tell you what, the first time I saw it when I was a kid, it just made me wonder, and it fucking scared the shit out of me. I can remember looking out the fucking window of the house and fucking being like, ooh, whoa, because I lived in the fucking woods. But...
Not me.
No? You lived in the city?
No.
Fucking city boy.
Yeah.
I was going to attempt to do the news tonight, Matt.
Yeah?
But I'm not feeling it.
Well, you're no Alcorn.
I'm fucking no Alcorn. That is for damn sure. And, you know, after a couple of vaporizer hits, yeah, no. I'm not doing the fucking news tonight. Oh, this has been episode 37. The Blair Yeti Project. If you haven't yet, go check out Dread Fun on YouTube. YouTube.com/DREDFUNN. The man's amazing. He did a fucking picture of Arlie Ermy. Fucking...
Show me your war face!
Well, no shit. Do you suck dick?